By the 1990s, Michael Jackson had reached the peak of his fame, but increasingly, his personal life would take centre stage.
We talk about brand identities now in the record industry, and people say, you know, you've got to build a brand. Well, you know what? Michael Jackson was the first of those brands. Wherever you went on earth, everybody knew that brand. They could sing a song, or they saw the moonwalk, or they knew what he looked like. You know, they knew he was strange. They knew something. He was the greatest brand ever.
Part of that brand had always been Jackson's particular style of showmanship, including his choice of pets.
Of course, you have swans, and you have doves, and you have the fish, and you have the snakes, and you have the llamas, and you have the giraffes, and you have cougars, tigers, and we had Bubbles. Michael would always say, "Bubbles, go to bed." And he would go in and he'd get his pajamas, he'd put his pajamas on, and after he puts his pajamas on, he'd go brush his teeth. Then after that, he goes, "Bubbles," I said, which he hated to do, go to bed. "Bubbles," I said, "go to bed." And Bubbles was like, The trainers always had a problem with Bubbles because they came over one day and said, "This monkey is wild. He can kill you. He can slap you and knock you out," which he could, of course. He had so much power behind his slap. However, Bubbles had this power, but it was very strange because we never knew how he would react. So when my brother Jermaine had his children, they were just infants. And we said, "Oh my, what's Bubbles gonna do? You guys, don't let him touch it, don't." And he comes over and he sees the baby. And he comes in the room and he goes, "Ah!" And he, like, his face goes, and he sees the baby and he walks over to him and he kisses him on the forehead. And then he takes his finger and starts rubbing his forehead. And then he takes it out of her arms and he does like this. And starts rocking it and starts kissing it. And then he walks out of the room. And Michael goes, "No, no, no. Let him do it. He knows what he's doing."
We went over to Michael's house to play a bass part on one of Michael's tunes. Bubbles was there, cute, dressed up in his little bib overalls. And my daughter, who's 19 now, was there when she was a baby. Nothing like having a 2-year-old baby and having a monkey that's as strong as 6 grown men holding her hand. As a father, to watch that, you just go, "Oh!" The monkey gave something extra to be in the news with. He, you know, that's part of his job, is how to capture the media's attention.
Jackson was proving to be an expert at courting publicity, but not without a price.
With Michael, when he's out there by himself, it's like stopping traffic. It gets really, really tough, really tough. I mean, we all go to the ranch. Him and my kids have water fights, and they throw in balloons with water on you, and they running around having fun. And at the same time, when you step outside of that ranch, you're being watched all the time. The eyes are on you. When something happens and it's out there, some crazy rumor, something, whatever, we find out by the helicopters flying over the house. And the next thing you know, the house is on the news and there's something going on.
Over the years, Jackson has proved irresistible to the media, especially the tabloids. Stories of the plastic surgery, the increasingly pale skin, the ill-fated marriages to Lisa Marie Presley, and later to Debbie Rowe. As well as, of course, the birth of Jackson's children. All have made headlines around the world.
The tabloids light up when Michael Jackson comes through, because you can put out anything as weird as you want it to be, and it sounds fairly plausible because it's Michael Jackson.
There was a great partnership between Michael Jackson and the media. All the stories about Bubbles, about the oxygen chamber, about his attempts to buy the Elephant Man remains were all put out by his people, put out by his PR machine. So these eccentric stories just stoked the fires around the whole mystique. Jackson maintained this mystique all the way through the 80s and through to the mid-90s.
The press loved him when he could sell newspapers. Loved him. When Michael would not make himself available at the drop of the hat, he became fair game for the tabloids, I think, particularly. I don't know any longer what the truth is about Michael Jackson and what's purely fictitious.
The bottom line is that Jackson decided that he needed to get out there more, i.e. do more interviews. The problem with that is that once again he came across as just odd. I don't think he's necessarily to blame for this. This is a guy, remember, that has been famous since he was about 6 years of age. He has never known any normality as you or I would know it.